It's April 6th, 2026. I haven't made a video in a long time. I have been healing and focused on myself, working on staying aware and present, still cutting out all the unnecessary desires, wants, programs, etc. I had gotten so far last summer. I went 4.5, maybe 5.5 months. I remember I was trying to get to 6 months without a heart palpitation or this issue that comes, that signifies from my heart. I have a fire going. That's why you hear that noise. I went 5.5 months without a heart palpitation. I was doing great. The only thing was I was detoxing extremely heavily through my ears and through my skin. Meaning every morning I woke up, my ears were completely just full of gunk. I'd have to clean them out. So like 5.5 months without any kind of heart issue, and everything was going good. It felt like my health was building. It felt like I was tearing it every 4 to 6 weeks. I was shitting out biofilm in my feces. And every time that would happen, I could feel like myself detoxing. The one thing that never went away was the access. I sort of don't like calling it brain fog because, brain fog sort of, I guess, covers it okay. It's more like you can't access, like if you were an employee at a building and you had a key card and your key card is able to open all the doors in the building if you're the CEO, right? And if you're just the janitor, it's only going to open up these doors. Your key card's only going. That's what it feels like to me. It doesn't feel like brain fog. It feels like access denied. It feels like when I'm trying to access something, it is being denied. Like there is something there that has placed itself between me and the information I'm trying to access, or the facility I'm trying to access within my mind, or whether that be in my mind, like in a critical thinking type of way, or in my mind in a faculty type of way, like thinking deeply on something and putting two and two together, right? So that never went away. But my health, dude, I felt last summer, oh my God, I felt amazing. It was unbelievable, other than the detox and then, the denied access to the faculties of my mind and my memory. I was so jacked up. I was so happy. I was so upbeat. I was so on the positive side of life, right? To the point of almost blowing smoke up my own ass. Because when you're not in this, when it's not happening to you, it's almost like it's not even real. And I can totally understand why people laugh, mock, deny people like mine experiences, because it's almost unbelievable. But the thing is, I have really, really put a lot of thought and contemplation into doing more videos on YouTube, because one of the reasons I quit, besides the brain fog issue and wanting to focus more on myself and seeing that I was on a journey that I felt like, looking back, I was putting out, saying things that might, because I didn't have the full picture yet, might inhibit or hurt other people's journeys. They might take things I say the wrong way, or maybe things that I'm saying that are not completely in alignment with, the ultimate truth, maybe my truth and what my perspective of what I'm seeing at that time. So anyways, I quit doing YouTube videos for damage control. I didn't want to hurt anybody. I didn't want to, and I saw the abundance of information out there. It wasn't like I was putting anything out there that nobody else had, or, I wasn't saving anybody's life or anything. And I saw how people were just so like jumping from YouTube page to YouTube page, just trying to look for a group, just trying to look for some kind of group to belong to. Like, people just want to jump from group to group to group to group, and I'm just not about that. But I understand why people do, because this is it can be a very scary, lonely, dangerous feeling place to be in. So I quit giving my thing for that, and then I quit doing YouTube videos because because of why else, Richard? Why else did I quit? I wanted to test out the theory of don't put all your shit out there, because once you do, life will ruin it. Whatever systems in control will do whatever it can to thwart whatever your plans are, or whatever else, right? So I wanted to try that out too. So what has happened was, like I said, about 5.5, I can't even remember, months I went without any heart palpitations. I mean, I was doing phenomenal. I was on the fast track to blowing this thing wide open and re-accessing and reclaiming my birthright, my full birthright, with my health and access to all facilities granted to us in these physical bodies as eternal souls, right? Well, all of a sudden one day, it was like somebody flipped a switch, and man, my heart palpitations came back out of nowhere. It was like, literally, after 4.5, 5 months, it's like someone just pushed a button. Boop, your turn. And boom, right on back. And so ever since then, and now that was, man, I quit keeping calendars, because one thing that this has done with me focus so hard and doing everything that I can, that I know is right, every day, moment by moment, and keeping my outer influences, far away from me, so that way I can be completely present and aware to see what the fuck is going on. It came back out of nowhere, out of fucking nowhere, man. And ever since then, so that was like September. I'd say September of 2025. September, we're in April, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So it's been 7 months now, about 7 months. And I've been dealing with this, and it can last anywhere, this heart thing. And I say heart thing because that's where it's starting, that's where it's originating from, is in my heart. But it's not my heart. It's not my physical being. It is whatever has placed itself. This is the thing that placed itself, and I'm telling you, it's from childhood. It placed itself in me from childhood, and it has grown, it has whatever, strengthened, it did whatever it did. And it's bad, man. It's not good because I can go. So what this does now, now 7 months in of dealing with these heart palpitations, and again, I'm calling it heart palpitations, but that's what it starts as. That is the way that it attacks you. See, the thing is that all of this is now documented. I mean, it's so documented, it's ridiculous. It's just like everything else that's documented, how poisonous our food is and everything else. Anyone who denies this, anyone who's laughing about this still or denying it or gaslighting us on these things is one of two things. They're either completely a part of this system and the mechanisms of control, or they are where I was 5 years ago before I started this journey, because it was 5 years ago now. I've been in this journey for 5 straight years. I mean, 5 fucking straight up years, nonstop, every day, day in and day out on this journey, completely dedicated. No partying, no hanging out, no planning, no nothing. 5 straight years of living moment by moment, day in, day out, focused on myself, my health, my awareness, where I'm at, my perspective, my history, my memories, my everything. That's all I've been dedicated to for 5 straight years. And that's what it's been. I can't, it's hard to believe it's been 5 fucking years. Yeah, because it was 2 years, and then my niece moved in with me. She lived with me for 2 years, and then she moved out a year ago almost. So yeah, it's been 5 years, and through that awareness now, I have been able to differentiate, because what I have dealt with, I have dealt with since birth, is my sensitivities. I am extremely, my whole life, what they did was they got me to gaslight myself, right? And got me to be my own worst enemy, and got me to sort of be a leader. So everywhere I went, everyone I associated with, and everything I did, I was like championing the cause of making fun of and denying and obfuscating what the mechanisms of control got going on here, which is whatever implant. Okay, it's an implant. It's a synthetic implant that has been planted into me. And people like me, other targeted individuals. Again, this is targeted individuals. This is why people who aren't targeted, that haven't got this, that they're dealing with, they can get rid of these biological parasites, and then they're fine. And then they can go about their day, and they have access to all their faculties, and everything's fine, and nothing randomly happens. People like me can go 4.5, 5 months completely dedicated to their health after years, and it be up, everything's going good, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just your feet, whop, get swept out from under you. And what it does is it makes you feel like you're fucking crazy. This is why people like me ended up in prisons, because it trips you out, man. It really trips you out. You have a grasp on everything, and then all of a sudden everything just gets pulled out from under you. Everything that makes sense, everything that you've connected, everything just gets whoop. So what it is, they send this signal, and it speeds up your heart. It makes your heart, it fucks with your electrical system, okay, which is your nervous system, which is your whole body. I mean, if you've ever seen the diagram, or when they pull the nervous system out of a body, how it's miles and miles and miles of electrical conduit wiring that's running through your body that's sending these signals. But for me, it starts in my heart, man, and that's where it radiates out from. So what happens is over time of dealing with these heart palpitations, and so I've been dealing with them now for 7 months, is when they flip the switch back on me, right? Well, they flip the switch on and off randomly, and so I can go days with just, it's non-ending, non-ceasing heart palpitations, and so it shortens your breath. It causes, which causes anxiety, which causes this, which causes that. The knee bone's connected to the shoulder bone, right? So by clearing up and doing these things, what I've been able, I know this is hard to follow, and I really didn't want to make a fucking video, but I'm telling you, I put so much contemplation into this. And the reason I'm making this is not to expose anything new, because like I said, all the patents for everything that they're doing, the stuff they're spraying in the air, all the synthetic parasites, it's all patented. It's all can be proved. And I'm not here to prove any of it, because I can't, because that's not my job. I'm here to speak my truth, to speak from my heart, and relay my experience the best I can for others, so that way I can be that light that shines in the darkest of places, bringing hope, encouragement, and inspiration to everyone else. Because that ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what I am. I am a human. I am a human. I am an eternal soul occupying the most advanced physical avatar on this earth. And I see my responsibility as a human to speak my truth, to be authentic, okay? To be authentic. Authentic is true to myself, to who I know myself to be. Now, what my journey has brought me to realize is that my authenticity is constantly changing as I'm clearing out the old and regaining my faculties and regaining the control over my system and reclaiming my ability to control and operate this avatar, emotionally, physically, psychologically, spiritually, right? The whole accompaniment of this embodiment of who I am, who we are as human beings. And so what I've realized through this healing is I've cleared out, like I said, all my distractions have been cleared out for 5 years. All my outside anything, planning, plotting, giving credence to politics, giving credence to entertainment, giving credence to electronics, giving credence to anything, work, anything, money, anything outside of me, and just focusing on how everything in my day, how my mood is, how it affects me, how it affects my mind, how it affects me in my heart, like how I look at things, right? So I see that I have been autistic and ADHD, what they label as autistic and ADHD, extremely sensitive since I can remember, since a little boy. I have been attacked. Like I said, my alien stories of when I walked in on my younger self in my room, and the aliens were sitting on my chest, and the spaceship was up above my room outside. The whole 9 yards, man. The whole fucking 9 yards. It all is coming together to show me clearly that, I guess you could say, I'm not crazy, right? That my experience is real. My experience is validated. My experience is 100% true. And I could sit here for 100 more years trying to heal and convince myself that those things did not happen to me, and I would just be gaslighting myself. So I have embraced my history. I've embraced my story. I have embraced my experiences. I have embraced my observations. I have embraced who I am without anybody else's interference or perspective skewing my conclusions that I've come to. And so, having dealt with the heart palpitation for the past 7 months, I can almost sit outside my body, like in a way that I can observe what my body is going through and how the step by step. So the heart starts palpitating, the shortness of breath, the fogginess in the head gets worse, the anxiety because the nervous system, the central nervous system stress, right? So the anxiety, the sensitivity to noises, the sensitivity to other people, the sensitivity to all of these other things. I can see it all. I can sit there and watch it all happen. And so these palpitations haven't been nonstop for 7 months. It's like somebody just fucking with you. They're flipping a switch on and off. And so I can deal with them for days in a row and then just boop, gone, just out of nowhere. And I'll be fine for a few days. And then boop, here comes the fucking switch again. And then bloop, right back on it again. Right fucking in it. Like it was just yesterday. Like here we are. Right. And, yeah, so over time now, after 7 months of that happening, what that does is it just slowly wears you down to where you actually start questioning your sanity in a unhealthy way, though, not in a positive, we're getting somewhere, A's connected to B type of way, but like questioning your sanity as in, you're so wore out. You're just ready to give up. You're just ready to give. You're ready to throw in the towel. Please don't hurt me. Please, I'm done. Please let me get rest. Let me relax. Let me recuperate. Let me, that kind of thing. It's not a, okay, yes, I'm being broken down. My ego's being broken down. I'm being tested. I'm being, this is for my higher good. This is for the greater good of all. No. This is all out attack warfare. This is not beneficial for me at all. That being said, I'm not coming on here saying there's no hope. I am coming on here because I know that the only way I'm standing here today is because there is a way to overcome this completely. And I am still figuring out, and I've been focused on the biological parasites, right, for the past few years. What I have shifted my focus on, but even focus on, like the whole thing is, I know that it has to do with frequencies. I'm like, man, frequency is the only thing that makes sense as the ultimate fix to this issue, because in the right frequency, you can only have what is copacetic or what resonates with that frequency within that area. So if you get the terrain right, then you'll be fine. But see, if your terrain already has a Trojan horse built into it, then that terrain can, like, again, anytime that switch is flipped, that terrain can automatically goes back to not healthy. So I've got a few things, newer things that I've been testing out and that I'm doing that I will share to address the synthetic parasites, because that's what this is. It's synthetic. This is something that was grown in a lab that is nanotechnology, which nano just means small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier, small enough to self-replicate within you, small enough to use the smart dust that they're spraying in the air and all the heavy metals to build itself and build. Oh man, it's so disgusting what they've done. This system that overlays our natural order of things is so unbelievably disgusting and parasitic. And to see people and to know that I, for decades, was unwittingly a pawn being used as an Agent Smith to make fun of, deny, obfuscate, and destroy the truth of what is really going on and those who are suffering from it when I was suffering from it. And that's why I was running and hiding so hard. Is just it's mind-blowing, man. I'm not going to allow comments, because right now, being in this state, I'm very vulnerable, my emotions. So, like, when I'm dealing with people, I am very short tempered because, again, it's like all your nerves are on end. Like you're on your last nerve, you're on edge, right? So it throws you back into survival mode, which I'm not in survival mode because I'm not grasping onto survival. It's just I have such a clearer picture because of I've cleaned out my system, because I've cleaned out my mind. I've gotten rid of the drugs, the sex, the rock and roll, the politics, all the bullshit, all the horse shit out of my life, and been so fully focused and concentrated that I can see when my autism kicks in. I can see where it comes from. I can see when my ADHD kicks in. I can see where it comes from. I can see when my OCD kicks in. I can see where it comes from. I can see when all of these things kick in. I can see when they're benefiting me. I can see when they're natural and they're kicking. I can see when they're unnatural and it's being caused from a result of dealing months of having heart palpitations and it wearing you out. I can see all of these things like clearly, and because before, when I would go into psychosis, right? That's what they want to call it. They want to label all this stuff so that way they can go, oh, look, he's in psychosis. He can't handle it. And before, it would just send me spinning in a whirlwind. Whereas now it's like I'm standing in the eye of the storm, but having all of this swirling around me, it still makes my heart pound. It still gives me shortness of breath. It still jams me up. It still does these things to me because, and I think this is the hardest thing for me, is because I have all of these things at the tip of my tongue to explain. I have them all at the forefront of my mind. I have them all right there in my mind's eye. I have it all connected. It's all there. I just can't get it out. I just can't get it out. And that is so frustrating because I feel like that is the only thing that separates me from being able to connect with other people. The fact, because it's so frustrating when you can't get these things out in a relational way for people to be able to understand how A is connected to B, to C, to D, to E, to F. And when you just, it comes out A connected to Z, like your hair, the top of your head hair connected to the bottom of your feet. And people are like, man, this motherfucker's done lost his goddamn mind. And it just makes you look crazy, man. And so that's where I'm at, man. A really good place. I mean, I've come so far, but it doesn't negate the fact that whatever I was originally dealing with this synthetic thing that was implanted inside of me because it has access and it has set itself up as a liaison between me and the faculties of my mind, full faculties of my mind and my nervous system. And it doesn't allow me to be fully me. And it's like, so when it does this to me, like when this started against 7 months ago, this heart thing, when it started, you just realize like you get so far in your physical healing and in your mental healing and in your emotional healing and in your spiritual healing, and you use these outward things as signs, like the ability to be able to speak and communicate, the ability to be able to forgive and forget, the ability to be able to move forward, the ability to be able to create, the ability to be able to do these things. And then when you cannot see these results in the external world, or when something happens, such as these heart palpitations, which are like, if this is a physical thing, it should be, and I'm not experiencing it for months and months and months, and then all of a sudden I experience it again. There's something else going on. If I'm not changing my diet, I'm keeping myself healthy, I'm keeping my stress levels the same, I'm keeping my work levels the same, I'm keeping my social interaction levels the same, I'm keeping everything the same for years and years, and my symptoms, everything goes away for months and months and months, and then all of a sudden comes back with a vengeance, and then it's just so fucking random that it doesn't even make sense. It makes you feel like you're crazy. So I am just here after, because I thought about starting doing videos back then, but it was just too much. And so after months and months of a lot of thinking about this, I'm putting myself back out there again, because I realize, and this was my biggest thing for myself to not come back on, was if by putting my shit out there, this thing is constantly able to put itself in front and block me, right? But common sense and critical thinking through the past few months on this has shown me that regardless, if this thing is sitting in between my nervous system and the faculties of my mind and my ability to be able to access them at any moment, to the point where it can disappear and act like it's not even there for 6 months, and then just pop back in and like an old friend and a twin, and be like, here I am, like I never missed a beat. Then I'm living in my own little personal hell. And I'd rather put this out there, because I keep my finger on the pulse of real people out there who are going through their own issues on YouTube, Facebook, all these other ways that they're putting their information out there, to just be able to say, hey, look, I'm going through this too. Regardless of the consequences of idiots or bots or trolls or government agents or whatever else, demons, whatever, saying, making fun of, denying, obfuscating their experience, right? So I think by putting my information out there and by putting my story out there, it's not going to do me any more harm. And if anything, it's just going to, maybe it will be fodder for the system to use as whatever, but for the few individuals I think it can help, it that negates all things I had on the negative side of not putting this stuff out there. So again, my health, I mean, I feel, dude, when I'm not having these heart palpitations, even though I don't have full access to all the faculties of my mind yet, I feel, oh my God, like we are so powerful. We are so amazing. We are so unbelievably capable of so many things. And we do not need all this trash. Everything that they sell us out here is a lie. The food, the house, the cars, the electric, it's all a lie, and it's all to keep you boxed in and denying denying your full capabilities and the gifts of being human. I see that 100%. There's no doubt. So yeah, anyways, I'm back. I'm back telling my story, back giving, opening my book for everybody else to see. I'm doing great. I'm doing excellent. It's just what you're seeing here, if it looks weird, sounds strange, or, tics that I have or the way that I talk, it is due to months now of just being worn down by